Welcome everybody to World Turtles. Thanks for joining me. We're going to play a normal game today and see if we can get to our helicopters and waterways in the hour. I think we should get there. I can always speed up the game speed if we don't make it in the hour, but I think we should be fine. There are a bunch of custom map settings that you can actually set. I'm still working on getting this to work correctly all the time, so you can play around with it, but please just be lenient if something happens there that crashes the game. I'm still working on that. Please wishlist on Steam if you like the game. If you play the demo for 20 minutes, one of these maps, until the 26th of June, you can get your name in the game upon release. So if you play for 20 minutes, dialogue will come up and it will take you to the form that you can with the code auto-populated, and you can just enter your Discord profile name and the name that you want in the game. Okay, so let's jump in with a standard map and see what we get. The maps are procedurally generated, so you'll get a new one every time that you play. And hopefully we get a good start.
There's something new we can build.
Okay, there's plenty of space here, enough resources for everything. And lightning. Okay, so these hints will appear all over the map as you unlock certain things that you should know about. So they will pop, the hints will pop up as you go along to kind of show you, nudge you in the right direction of what you need to do. Okay, so first off, scouting, we need to see what goes on around our area and what we can learn from it. And then the second one that goes hand in hand with that is our borders. So we can see that we have little flags here that indicate our borders, and we can expand our borders by constructing builders yards near the borders. So the builders yards are what basically expands your territory for you. Where you've got builders yards, you can construct buildings. So we can have a look at where we are situated on the map. We're on this side here with a neighbor on there and a neighbor there, and this is our turtle on which our world resides. There are things that you can set, like the meep labels, in-game UI if you just want to have a look at the graphics. This is a fewer clicks mode where some of the UI elements open and close automatically, so you can try that out. It allows you to get around quicker by opening and closing some things automatically just by hovering over them. There's some more options in here. You can set your sound, different icons that you want to work with, set game speed, scrolling speed, etc. And also how the map itself is triangulated. So if you like more terraces per slope, you can set that. Variability you can decrease, so have everything, all the X's look basically the same, or you can have the variability in the X's. You can choose your color and so on. Key bindings are coming, so also check out these options. I just want to reset my camera view. Okay, so let's start with a wanderer's cabin, and we want to explore in the direction of our neighbors. So I'm going to construct one on this side, and I also want to expand my borders on that side so we can go meet our neighbors. Here you'll see wild food sources. So there are some crops and seafood that you can harvest. That's to get you on your way, since you don't have farms from the start, and even if you construct farms, it takes a while for the crops to come online. So these crops that are around you, you can harvest to just give yourself a head start in having enough supply capacity for meeps to join your realm. You don't necessarily want to harvest all of them at once, so let's say we take some more of these and then we leave the rest for later. Now you don't select individual meeps. You can select them to just have a look at them. You can follow them with a camera, a fly cam. But how most of the actions work is that you work through the building. You'll see a building has got, our builders has got their first task here, construct buildings. Then after they gain experience in the first task, they will unlock the second task, which will be construct roads. And then, so most of the buildings have got a primary and a secondary task, and they also have the research task and the leisure task, which we'll get to in a moment. Okay, so harvesting here, we need a woodcutter's cabin and a stonemason's cabin, which will start harvesting these resources for us so we can build more buildings and progress. I'm going to build the woodcutter's cabin here,
Leave it to me.
and the stonemason's cabin there.
Let's get building.
And there's some nice space in here where we can fit in the research and leisure hubs when they eventually get unlocked. So we've now constructed the 4 building types that are unlocked from the start, the 2 resource gatherers, and then the wanderer and the builder cabin. Now you can see we have no more meeps left over, but we still got 4 builders that you start with. So you start with 6 builders. 2 will be allocated to this building, and you can construct more to get your territory expanded. So let's build another one there, and then we'll save the 3rd one for around here after we've just had a bit more of a look on that side. We want to get to these neighbors
Something new we can
from
build.
the start. Okay, so joiners, you will see as you construct more buildings, each meep requires 1 dwelling capacity, an appeal capacity, an order capacity, and a supply capacity of food. And we've just constructed the building, so there are 2 excess now,
New
and then
building available.
the excess are taken up by joiners that join your realm. I'm going to increase the game speed a little bit. You can see that this fault line is some subsurface rock that is emerging through a geological fault, and eventually when this happens, new rivers can form, and it's going to impact the area around this fault line, and there will also be research phenomena linked to this. For now it just pops up. Okay, everything is constructing. I think we should start constructing our farm. When our wanderer is completed, we unlock the farm. We can place it. Here's a very nice spot for it, very flat, so the builders only need to adjust the height of those yellow X's, so they need to flatten that a bit or raise it so that the buildings fit on that piece of land. So let's order our farm there, and then we've got 3 crops to choose from at the start. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but they thrive in a certain moisture and temperature range, and depending on where your farm is situated or located, your farm caters for a certain moisture range and temperature range. So you could pick the crops that makes the most sense in the situation that your farm finds itself in. Also, you want a variety of crops, because for every different crop type, you get 1 appeal capacity because of the variety in your food supply that the meeps love. Okay, so this is our stonemason now. At the start it only harvests rocks, and you can then also construct a road to the Founders Hex from each of the buildings. Okay, I've talked about the specialist tasks. There's another thing here, water level and moisture range. So I've talked about the moisture range of the farm, but you'll see the water level of the lakes and the seas going up and down. It's currently quite high at 97. These are basically percentages of 0 to 100. So our water level is very high, our rain is reasonable, our temperature is reasonable, and this flux is the power that you have depending on where you go, where you are currently in space. So your moisture, the blue and the brown, blue is humid and brown is dry. Your temperature, white is cold and red is very hot. And then your flux, purple is low flux and pink is high flux, and depending on, you can actually steer your turtle around in space. I'm just doing it now with the buttons, but you will have mechanics, a huge catapult that you use to fling food for the turtle into space to feed it, and then also steer it depending on whether you fling the food to slightly off to the side, so you can get the turtle to go into a certain direction if you need to get to certain areas of space. So I'm going through a bit of a dry patch now. You'll see that the rain stops, but the water level only goes down over time. So if you go through a large dry area, the water level will go down quite significantly. Well, this isn't actually that bad, so we're already through it, so the water level won't go all the way down. But there will be resources in the water that you can only reach if the water level is low enough. So sometimes you want to steer your turtle towards the lower water levels so that you can actually reach those resources. Okay, so our farm is done. We've done the planting, and now we can also build a fishmonger's hut. So I'm gonna place one over here. You'll see we've got seafood here that our wanderers can also survey. Our fishmongers are going to cultivate fish, and then later on these other resources as well. I'm also going to build a wanderer here so that we can explore this area, and a builder's yard there so that we can build there as well. Okay, you would have noticed the weather, so depending on your situation in terms of space, your humidity, you can see there's a lot of rain now, so lightning and all over the place. You've got clouds and raindrops and so on. The temperature, when it gets really cold, you get more snow falling all over, and you can actually see the textures of the terrain also change depending on the moisture level and or the climate of the area. So you can see there how it changes in real time, whether it's raining or snowing for each of the hexes. There was a bit of snow, but if you go to the more of the snow will probably be in this areas where it's colder. You also have a moisture overlay that you can toggle, so you can see where most of the water are. This is linked to the rain and of course the patches, the lakes and seas and so on. So the places that are bluest will have the most rain or the most water there, and you also have a temperature overlay, so you can see where it gets colder around here and warmer around here. So depending on where you find yourself on the map, you will probably plant different crops if you want to get the most out of those crops. Okay, so we have met actually our neighbors here. They are getting close to us, so I'm quickly going to construct a few more buildings and then talk about some more mechanics. Okay, so we've got the research hub here, which we want to get going, and our leisure hub. So they are area of effect buildings. You can see the area of effect indicated by the colors. So I'm going to place 2 down here as well, so that these guys also are covered. And I'm going to order some more woodcutters cabins and stonemasons cabins so that we don't run out of resources anytime soon. Now you'll see we can't construct any buildings anymore here because our meeps have dried up again. We now need to get enough capacity for the meeps before they'll join us again. So we're working on, this is the bottleneck, the research hubs, but they will come online any time now, so then the meeps will join us again. The buildings that don't require meeps to work in them physically, you can still construct. Okay, so here are our neighbors. They are constructing the same buildings as we do, and the idea in World Turtles is that you don't fight with your neighbors, but you work with them. So you basically need to make sure that they progress at a reasonable rate, because you're going to need them in future to help you with big projects. You can trade with them, you can gift them supply to get them going and so on. So so that when the time comes, they are strong enough to actually help you with what you need to accomplish. Okay, I'm gonna build a few more of these because you can never
Rome wasn't built in a day.
have too little resources. Okay, and then also another fish monger.
I don't ask questions, I just build.
And we'll set these to different crops as our wanderers unlock these crops for us. Okay, so let's go into research and leisure. This is two of the experience, two of the tasks that our meeps need experience in before they can upgrade. You can see the builds. These two builders have now constructed a lot, and they've constructed a lot of roads, but they still need experience in these two tasks. Now they get that from researching, and each research or each building type has got its own little mini research tree. Each one of these leads to another two, so there are three different researches for each building. Not all of them are populated. You can see I've got some placeholders here just to show the functionality, but eventually they will all be populated and then unlock certain upgrades or certain buildings, certain functionality. This is quite important, domestication. So we want our wanderers to research domestication as soon as possible, because then your farm can start growing more different types of crops, and also the animals to increase your food supply. So you'll see that they have these pigs and cattle close by, but we need to research domestication first before we can survey those and domesticate those animals. And then as soon as all four of these tasks have got their research or their experience completed, you can see there that this one is 100% completed. You can see it in the frame of the icon or in the tooltip, and this one is 69% completed. But as soon as everything is completed, you can upgrade. You also need some research item to upgrade, and you also need some tools or resources. Okay, we'll get to the upgrade as soon as something is ready, but in order to upgrade, we'll actually need tools of higher quality than just the shards that we harvest from what remains after harvesting the rock. So our shards is our primitive tools. You just get hard, sharp rocks pieces from here, and that you use for your basic tools. But we want to get something more than that going. Okay, so since we are close to the pigs here, I'm going to select pigs here for our first farm. So as soon as those pigs are domesticated, they will come to this farm and improve the yield of that farm. Okay, let's wait for the alchemist to complete before we go to this. Let me talk about the tavern. Our neighbors have sent an envoy with a gift of some scarce clay, so we've got some clay there, and they are requesting us to build a tavern to facilitate trade and visits between our two realms. So here's our tavern. We can construct it here, and then we can use that to trade with our neighbors on this side. Okay,
We have acquired new knowledge.
our farm has research cultivation, so our crops, after they've been planted, they can now be tended over time. So these crops will usually just give us 2 food supply. Certain ones give 2 food supply and 1 food supply and 1 appeal capacity. And if you tend them, then they give some more food, more supply. So since we have now researched cultivation, we can tend these crops, and our next crop cycle will give us more supply here. Okay, as we unlock some of these crops, the wild crops, so there were some strawberries nearby, and one of the wanderers must have surveyed that, completed that, learned how to cultivate those, and then we get some wild strawberries that we can harvest as well to give us that extra kickstart. There's some more that we can harvest here. We are actually doing fine with food supply, which is good, so we won't be hampered by that. Our joiners will keep joining us because we've got lots of food supply. We've got enough dwellings on the way, and our appeal capacity is at the moment the bottleneck. How we can fix that is build some more leisure hubs. Let's put one down there.
Right, let's get this one up.
Okay, so I'm going to build another one of these.
Finished building. If you say so.
Oh, pregnancy. As soon as your meeps live in their own little homes, so they're not just at your Founders Hex anymore, they do become pregnant. So we can see that we have 2 babies running around here somewhere, and they then turn into toddlers and adolescents, and then after that they start joining the workforce as well. Okay, actually let's not build 2 of them. We've got enough iron in the demo, so one should be fine. We've got an alchemist here. He and she handles our metal work for us, so they produce iron from the shards and wood that they burn in the oven, and they then get iron for us, and later on alloys. So iron will be what puts us into our second tier, our first upgrade for all our buildings, and then alloys will put us into our third tier, our second upgrade for all of our buildings. So we don't really need a lot of iron at the moment, but let's make iron and let's research at leisure, and then when this unlocks, we can also then start making gold, or alloys, sorry, gold color, which we have none of. This unlocks our Tinkerer's Workshop. I'm going to construct 2 of them so that we can get tools quite fast. Let's put one there, and one there.
Let's get to it then.
So that we can get many of our buildings upgraded in a short space of time. Now here you'll see a play wheel. So basically our woodcutters have researched their first research item, which is a pump drill, and they basically realized that one day when they put a wagon wheel on its side and it had an iron rim, that the wagon wheel started turning slowly, and this is because of this flux in space, which basically works as a magnetic field that turns turns the wheel that has the iron rim, and this is how power will work in all turtles. So you'll use that firstly at the start to drive small things like the play wheel. So we can construct, let's build a play wheel there for our children to play on, and let's put another one there, and we'll see later then what this leads to in terms of more research. For now it's just a gimmick or something to play on, but it will lead to more research on the Tinkerer's side, which leads us to helicopters and waterways and so on that use those that power to drive more important things. We need to research a windmill for our farms before those can be upgraded, so I'm going to swap the research to windmills, and also carving for our woodcutters to upgrade those. And then our Tinkerer is almost online, so we can tell our Tinkerer to produce some iron tools for us, and later on some alloy tools. And here we can build another play wheel on this side. Okay, we've got enough meeps. We've got 8 meeps that are not allocated to certain buildings at the moment, so we're fine there. If you're looking for some of your buildings, you can actually see them here in the same order that they appear on this construction wheel. They also appear here, and you can find all of the types of buildings and also the research and leisure hubs that they use. So if you want to know where your farm is, you can find it there. Yeah, I'm going to stay on one farm for now. We may need the wood for some of the other things that I want to show you, maybe more important for that. Our farm will get upgraded soon, so we will get more capacity from it. You can see as soon as that is research and that experience is around full, we can upgrade our farm and get more plots to plant from that as well.
New insights have been gained.
Okay, so the tools should be coming in. There is our first iron tool, which we will soon use to upgrade one of our buildings. So our neighbors also gave us a cart that we can use to trade with, and I'm still working on this, but let me show you quickly. There's a little screen and you can fill up your cart with a certain capacity and you can get something in return. I'm just going to pick some random stuff there and you can trade, and you'll see that you lose whatever you traded and they will lose whatever they traded, and when the cart makes the trip, they get their resources and you get the resources when the cart returns. So one of your meeps will now come grab this cart and take it to their neighbor. We've also met our next neighbor here, so they are also sending an envoy to us, and they also want us to construct a tavern between the two of us as well. So they'll drop it off here at our Founders Hex. We also have 2 joiners there coming to join us as well, and our capacity is also running low now. So let's order another research hub to keep us going.
New building available.
Okay, there.
Research complete.
Okay, so
That's just where I would have put it.
we don't really need bridges in this game, but some games will have more rivers, depending on what type of map you've chosen. So sometimes you would need bridges a lot more than others. They're not built over these wide areas of water. They're built over rivers, which
Our understanding
we don't
has
actually
improved.
have any that I can see in our area. There's a few. Okay, so you can construct the bridge over the river like that.
Got a
Drop one
license
down.
for that.
Okay, so next we want to start looking at upgrades. They need carving. They're almost done with it, and they need windmills. So let's let our farmers just do a bit more research instead of leisure for now, and also
Pursuit of knowledge
our
is
woodcutters,
unending.
let them
However, this
focus a bit
particular
on
pursuit is now finished.
research until we can actually upgrade. So here we can
Time for an upgrade.
research gears at our tinkerer. I'll get to the gears now. These guys actually don't have or do they have a leisure hub nearby? Let's see. You can check your leisure hub. They do. So we just need to let them do more of the leisure stuff
Our
and
research has concluded.
the survey stuff, so that, or jobs, so that they can get this extra
This building's finished.
crops for us. You can see that one is actually heading there and learning about the crop types, and they will also now do leisure more frequently, so that this experience can also run full. We should be okay. This builder
Building's complete.
also needs some leisure time. Okay, here's our first
Our
possible
understanding
upgrade.
has improved.
We need four
Pursuit of knowledge
iron
is
tools,
unending.
some
However,
wood and
this
some
particular
stone,
pursuit is now finished.
and we've got that. So we'll start our upgrade there, and let's keep our eye on them for a bit. Yeah. Okay, so now we can reduce the time spent on research again because we have researched our upgrade item, so we don't need to do so much research anymore.
Upgrade available. New insights have been
Okay,
gained.
so our builder's yard can also now be upgraded.
More is more.
That will make it, let's just have a look on this one. So you can see that the models, the building models actually also changed. So they take off the roof, they put some an extra part of the building on there, extra story, and then move the roof up. We can also upgrade our stonemason's cabin now.
It'll be nice when it's
Let's just reorientate ourselves
finished. Research.
and then build more play wheels.
Need more
All of these
funds.
building types will have
Need a leisure
like
hub.
smaller annexes that they can that construct that adds something to the game. For now, there's one at the Wanderer's Cabin, so as soon as we can upgrade this one, they're also just doing research still, so they've been spending too much time on research, so they're not upgrading, filling the experience there. But as soon as they are upgraded, we can also construct a nature reserve, which will come into play later, where you will have animals that you provide a home for, and that will also give you some happiness for your reaps. You can see that our children are growing up so fast that we actually don't have enough dwellings for them. So they've become adults, but we haven't constructed any dwellings. So there is a building that we're going to look at now, which is dwellings. They don't do specialized work, so all of the buildings that we've looked at up until now are basically specialized buildings. They have a certain task, but the dwellings will be
Our understanding
almost like
has
seasonal
improved.
workers, or they'll help different
Properly.
buildings with tasks that happen every now and then, but require a lot of work in a short time. So let's give one for the farm, because the farm is going to need some extra hands as soon as they start upgrading and have more crops. Okay, I'm upgrading the farm now, and you can see all the crops that our wanderers have unlocked already. So we can pick some more crop types, and that will improve our food supply and also our appeal capacity, because we have a lot of extra types of food, or certain different crop types. Okay, so our woodcutter is now a crafter, our builder is also now a crafter, and our stonemason somewhere should also be a crafter. Again, if you're looking for something, you can see here first level, second level, and there will be a third level as you research your research items to unlock these. So if you want your crafter stonemason, you can find it there. If you want to scroll through all your stonemasons, there's actually one that we can also upgrade,
Let's get upgrading.
and it tells you how many you've got and how many is in progress. So one of these are upgrading into a crafter as well. Your farm is also upgrading, and your one fishmonger is also upgrading. And there you've just
Pursuit of
unlocked
knowledge is
the third
unending.
level,
However, this particular pursuit is now finished.
the artisan level of the fishmonger, and for each of these buildings, then you've got these 3 levels that you can upgrade. We've got some more crops that we can harvest, and also seafood.
Our research has
So
research
crustaceans can now be harvested. We actually let these go on a bit long, but so now we can actually go to the fishmongers and tell them to cultivate something else. You lose one of your food supply, but you gain 2 appeal capacity, because you are improving your variety, your food variety. This also comes in your health, so you've got your 4 food types that gives you nutrients, and if those are balanced, your health is high. Also, if you have enough food, of course, but if you balance these, then you improve your health. You can see we've got lots of seafood at the moment, because we only built 1 farm and we built 2 fishmongers, so we are a bit supply of seafood, which is why our health isn't all that good. So over time our health is deteriorating a little bit, so we would basically need to have another farm so that we can get these 3 up as well to improve our health. But it's not that important for now.
There's always room for improvement.
Okay, so we have researched gears a while ago, and what we can do with gears is that we can construct waterways. Now we don't have a lot of water, we've got some here. So let's see. We will first need to expand into this direction, so let's construct a builder's yard there.
Don't ask questions. I just build.
And then I'll show you
We
the
have acquired
waterways.
new
So now
knowledge.
our alloys are unlocked because they have enough experience in constructing iron. So I'm going to focus on the alloys a bit so that we can get some alloys going for our next round of upgrades. Okay, so this builder can also upgrade,
Put an extra story
and
on
we can
this
also
one.
add another livestock to our farm, which will give us some more
Finished
food.
upgrading this one.
We still need some more dwellings, but yeah, so we can keep constructing different
Weren't too late on that one.
buildings that gives us more
Let's get
resources
building. Excellent choice.
and increases our rate of production. But here we have our helicopters now, so let's build a little helicopter. These helicopters will be used for certain construction tasks, which we'll see when we look at the waterways, and they'll also be used for leisure and some research tasks, getting to places where you can't walk to. So up here there will be tasks for the wanderers to do, for example, in terms of research and also exploring, and they will use the helicopters to do that. I'll keep an eye on the helicopters when it's completed. I think this one can also construct one. Let's put it on there. Harvesting some more wild crops. Our bridge can also be connected by road, and I hope there's enough good spots here for the water wheels. There should be.
More is more.
And then I can show you the waterways. We just have a look at the time. There's still enough time.
There's something new
Okay.
we can build.
Let's have a look at our
Our
turtle.
research
So
has concluded.
we've excuse me. We've explored quite a bit of our turtle. There's lots of open space here. I didn't. I chose a standard map or a fairly large map with only 3 players, so that there's enough space just to show you
Our
everything.
understanding
But
has improved.
depending on the type of game you play, you can be more cramped up or have lots of space,
have
or you may
acquired
want to
new
play an
knowledge.
expansive game,
Our
have lots of
research has
area covered,
concluded.
different ways to
Let's get upgrading.
approach it. Okay, so our builder is completed. So let's see if we can construct a waterway. There's room for it there, and we should be able to get go to that side.
Let's get to it then.
Okay,
That's just what I
everything
would
is
have
fine. It will now, the builders will construct it, and then we'll see how the rest of the waterway gets constructed via helicopter.
Oh, that'll be nice.
We can keep upgrading our buildings. Sorry, I use this click and drag a lot, but it's probably more pleasing to to scroll in this way.
Begin the upgrade.
While we're waiting for this, let's do a quick flyby. So this flyby will actually take into account where you've constructed your buildings and what you've already explored, and it will fly calculate a path based on those locations, and just kind of fly around the whole area that you've got explored and constructed, and just give you a little nice view of your realm and your neighbor's realm. and you can look at this at any
New
time.
building available. The pursuit of knowledge is unending. However, this particular pursuit is now finished.
You can sometimes get a nice shot with the sun and the sun just at the right place. Look at that train of resource gatherers. But the sun is quite high up now, so you can't see it in the flyby. But there is the sun. So the sun actually goes lower towards the rim when it gets darker, and then goes higher again to have the sun shining from more from the top at the midday. Currently there's 6 hours in a day, so it's just past noon if you want to think like that. So our sun is quite high up at the moment. Let's increase the game speed again to 2 times. We've got a solitary builder trying to do all the work here. You can actually also, if you want, set the priority to higher, and then tell the builders to focus on that area. So if you don't set the area, they take the closest task first, but if you say I want you guys to focus there, they'll actually head there as soon as they get the task. And if I say this, then they'll definitely construct first before doing any of the other tasks. So this should be done in a moment. Let's see if there's anything else that we can do. Okay, there's still we haven't built these guys a tavern yet, but
Rome wasn't built in a day.
I want to show you the lookout tower as well.
Wanna rock on to
This
that
will be
Stonefield Avenue.
used to interact with tribal villages or tribal camps,
That's proper
which at the
finished
moment
now.
we can't actually see one. But where
We have
did our
acquired
joiners come
new
from?
knowledge.
What direction? It's probably around here somewhere. So I'm just gonna plop it down there. It will give us some nice exploration as well.
Leave it to me.
This guy is still flattening the earth. We're waiting for another builder to help. I think she's on her way. Yeah, there she goes. The units actually also walk slower and faster depending on the terrain they're going
New
through.
insights
So
have
if
been
they
gained.
if they have a flat land that they're walking on, they walk faster, as you can see there. And if they get to more elevated areas, they walk slower, as well as through water they also go slower. Okay, this is almost done now. Of course, if you have more buildings, more builders assigned to this, it will go faster. So our waterways, one side is constructed. They will now, excuse me,
Our knowledge and hence ability is increased.
they will now construct these drive wheels that will be used to complete this waterway. And then the helicopter will put it into place in the sea, in the lakes. So they construct as many as is required to complete this route. You can see the indicators here where there will be drive wheels, and as soon as it's all completed, it will get connected by ropes, which will then act as almost like a conveyor belt, and these will turn and form your transportation over water. Your means of transportation. Here's a meat just taking a leisurely flyby. Okay, so they are the first two connected, and as soon as everything's connected, the meeps can also reach this area and complete the other side of the waterway, and then they can actually like hang on a harness on the ropes, and they will be able to go all the way across, do their stuff, and come back again on the rope as well. So we have completed, no, not completed, still waiting for someone to help. This one is on his way to help out there, because these have all now been constructed. Okay, so next thing is a catapult. This is this one. We actually need some more wood. So let's quickly go to our woodcutters and force them to work harder on chopping the wood. Sorry. Let's get enough wood to construct a catapult. There's our upgrade for our Wanderer's Cabin, and showing us the nature reserve that we can construct. It's actually just at the moment just holding that area of land, so that you can't do anything specifically on it, but I still need to get the animals that interact with it and so on coded in, but it will give you some appeal capacity. Already.
Let's get upgrading.
Okay, so there's actually no tribal camp here, but what you will do is, when you've got the lookout tower, you can provide supply capacity to tribal camps, which increases the rate at which they are willing to join your realm. So in the demo, I've set it so that you will always have meeps joining you, but the parameters will be set so that you will have a certain rate at which the meeps can join you, and by gifting them food and luxury items, you can then increase that rate so that they join you faster. So you can supply 3 food to them, a 3 supply capacity. Of course, that reduces your capacity, so you need to balance that out in terms of how much food do you need versus how much goodwill do you need from the meeps surrounding you to grow your realm. Okay, so the final one should be taken over in a moment. There comes the builder. You can actually watch them. There are some helicopters in the distance as well. Let's go fast. Okay, so he's on his way there, and that will be the last drive wheel for the waterway. Let's see if there's a spot for our catapult.
New insights have been gained.
Doesn't seem like it. So it takes a big space. It should probably fit in there. So I'm gonna do a quick cheat. Luckily, I've got the map editor available on my side, so I've just made it so that we can actually build there as well. And I'm quickly going to place some builders here as well, just to speed up the construction. Okay, so there is some good space for it there. And I'm going to order the catapult there so that we can just see how it works as well. So these builders should, they are occupied, so these guys are on their way, and they should, again, if you want to focus their attention on certain tasks, you can set it and set the area that they are currently working on. What you see here, these other icons, is that it's warning you that this building is not performing any of the other tasks, so that you just are aware of it, because most of the time you don't want to be focusing on a single task. You want to gain experience in all the tasks. So if you have something that has a 0 priority, it will notify you in the icons that that you should just be aware of that. This guy can upgrade. So the upgrades basically, just like in the farms case, it gives you 4 plots instead of 2, and also an extra camp for the animals. And if you upgrade again, it will give you 2 additional plots. The farmers also work faster, and of course now that there are so many plots, they need these guys to help them harvest the food. So some of these won't be farmers; they will be some of these helpers that help you harvest the food. You can open up these windows to keep an eye on certain meeps if you want. Okay, so this is now our waterway. The boats will be boats that are also have wheels. So when the water level drops, it moves on the wheels, and when the water levels are high enough, it floats on the water. And then your meeps also can. It's basically they're hanging there from on a harness. I haven't been able to build in the little model there, but the locations and the directions and everything work out fine. Okay, so where are these guys? Here they come. That's the first 2. The other 2 are on their way. I'm going to speed up the game a bit again. Let's go 3 times speed.
I like to build it.
Just check that we've done everything here. There will be the Founders Hex here. You'll actually be able to construct a Founders Hex at the different spot quite far away, that you get another colony going there, and then you construct buildings around that spot as well. So if you need to go far to gather some resources or whatever the case may be, then you'll be able to place another Founders Hex. I'm going to try it. I haven't tested it in a few weeks, but let's hope it still works. It's supposed to just send 6 meeps there and construct the thing for you. And of course, if those meeps had to go over water, they would actually use this waterway and go over the water to the other side to construct the Founders Hex there. Okay, so the catapult is coming along nicely. People are flying around in the helicopters. I've covered all of these buildings now. We've covered all of these. We've covered these, and we've covered these. So those are the buildings I have online at the moment. Adding more buildings becomes easier and easier because the scripts are kind of generalized so that they work off of data structures instead of having to code each building's functions separately. So I set certain parameters for the buildings, which tasks they have, which icons they use, and so on. So adding buildings really becomes much faster and easier to complete. Those guys they actually came here. I think they flattened the earth now, and now they should start the construction as well.
Our research has concluded.
But I'm not promising anything. I tested it quite well a while ago, so it should be working. I hope it does. The catapult is almost done.
This building is complete.
Let's look at this like this, and you'll now see how it flings food into space, and that food travels through space and then gets back to the turtle, who can eat it and then stay alive because of the nutrition that you provided from whatever you grow on its own back. And then depending on the direction in which you fling the food, you can get the turtle to head in different directions at different parts of space. Let's switch those off. Let's actually also look at the complete
We can upgrade that building.
map.
We finished upgrading this one.
So this is the complete map with our two neighbors built here and there, and ourselves, and you can see all of them working, and the AI knowing where to construct buildings, where are good places for the farms and
More is more.
the resource
There's always room
gatherers
for
and so on.
improvement.
Let's just
Oh,
go
that'll
back
be
to our
nice.
player. They have actually, yeah, they're building. They're building our second Founders Hex here, and you can see that our borders only go up to here currently, but as soon as this is completed, there will be a separate little piece of border around here where we can also construct. And these builders that we sent out
Something can be
to this
upgraded.
area, they will actually then stay here and become the founders for this new Founders Hex. And they will start constructing their buildings here, and then Meeps will also then start joining this Founders Hex as well as the original one that you've constructed.
We have acquired
started with.
new knowledge.
So many of this research is placeholders. I still have to research that. Farm is almost done. The builder has researched everything. Woodcut is almost done. This is a realm-wide research effort. So while each building has got their own research going, you could also set them to contribute to the realm-wide research. So there will be an extra tree that everybody works on together. And if you want to if you want that to take priority, then you say instead of researching one of your own items, you can set everyone to, for example, focus on the realm-wide research tree as well. There will also be certain buildings that don't have their own research trees that will contribute to the realm-wide research. For example, the dwellings. The people in the dwellings will contribute to realm-wide research. Okay, so that is the catapult I've shown you. I've shown you the extra Founders Hex, which luckily is still working, and we've got quite a nice realm going at the moment. That is what I have to show you. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked the game. I hope you try out the demo. Remember, if you play the demo until the 26th of June, if you play a map, not the tutorial, a map like this, for 20 minutes, then there will be a pop-up dialogue that gives you an unlock code, secret code, or key that you can enter in a form. There's also a link, so you can just click the link and it will auto-populate with the code, and you can then enter any name you want in the game. Just be reasonable, please. You can enter in the form, and that name will then be one of the Meep names when the game is eventually
New
released. So
insights have
one of
been
these names
gained.
will then be your name or your chosen name, if you want to participate in that. What do you call it? Functionality of the game. Okay, so
Put an
we
extra
actually
story on this one.
are able to upgrade some of our buildings to artisans now. Our farm should also actually be close to it. So you've got tooltips there that tells you exactly how the efficiency changes. They
Upgrade that
waste
building.
less
Get
rocks
upgrading.
and
There's always
shards,
room
so
for improvement. Begin the
improve your
upgrade.
yield. Oh, so the farmers were still focused on research too much. So let's do more leisure. Then they can actually also upgrade to artisan level. In here you can see that we've got 18 apprentices currently. We've upgraded quite a lot into crafters, 30 crafters, and 10 of those are currently busy upgrading into artisans as well.
Oh, that
So
looks lovely.
as it changes, all of these icons update with the numbers. Here we've got a little dog. they follow the wanderers around once they are domesticated, and they also allow the wanderers to reach further, or to go further from home and explore more area of land for you. Okay, so let me thank you. The hour is up. I'll stream. I've recorded this stream, so I'll just quickly spend a minute to get it into the stream program, and then I'll loop it again. So if you want to maybe watch the start, just give me a minute, and it will be here, and you can just watch it. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the rest of the festival. Please give World Turtles a try, play the demo, see if you like it, and if you know someone who you think may like it, please spread the word. I love working on this game. I love speaking to people who like it and are passionate about it, or who like playing it. So please join the Discord. I'm always there to answer some questions if you're struggling, or just chat about some possibilities, things that can be tried. I'd be happy to talk about the game with you, and if you have some good ideas or suggestions, also please join the Discord or click the link on the demo that takes you to the Discord server where you can provide some feedback for me. Thanks, and goodbye for now.